before they kind of go into the big leagues of all time. And I think squad wins to return of the crew. Just a lot of strong, higher level players. So this is surely going to be a very exciting semifinals topic.
I mean, yeah, both these teams are just ready and raring to go right away. Both sides, I believe, yeah, both sides have a charger, but interesting. Going with the ZF charger, you know what? It makes sense. It's zones. You can clear, and it's chip shape. You can clear out zone. You can clear out the court. That makes sense. You also have on the other side the 96 Scout Deco for that Kraken. You just have that way to just kind of force enemies out and get a nice two-shot you see right there. And so far, it looks like Squad Wins 2 will get the first cap of the zone, but not a lot else. You see they're kind of held back here a little bit. You see that right now they have both bridges, but not able to get any more farther forward. They're trying their best to, but the strikes are going to come out along with that Zipcaster. Unfortunately, Zipcaster is going to go down, so Squad Wins, they're just holding on, smiling, or just dancing around, swimming around. They're able to not get a pick quite yet, but just stalling out time is all they need to do. As Duck Motif, now they're halfway, no, Squad Wins is now halfway through their penalty points, and Duck Motif will finally get their first cap of the game.
Yeah, and that is going to be huge because sometimes it can be so difficult to just stop that momentum. And you see right now you have the zone in neutral. Everyone, it seems like, is just in their own fights, just trying to figure things out. But you have Red Shell on this top right using that brush to paint over the zone before getting picked off in that zip. Sky very diligently making sure that anyone who overextends does get punished for it. Hayden is going to get that pick as well, and very in this skirmishy fashion, just make sure to get out those bombs and gun everyone down. We see 2 members down on Duck Motif. So Squad Wins has done a fantastic job of getting themselves in this really advantageous position once more, while Red Shell, you see, just continues to run around and wreak havoc in this zip. We'll see if they get anything out of it, and that is not what you want to see when you pop a zip. A Kraken just waiting for you there.
Yeah, they're unfortunate. Also, nice hammer throw as well on the charger, getting rid of that backline here, allowing Squad Wins to just get a little bit further and get a little bit deeper into the court of Duck Motif, which is a real goal of this map here. Try to get as far as possible. You see them try and go through the midsection here, able to get through, but Vexen here just trying to hold this top side, doing a good job of that. Make sure this is not taking over, because once this bridge is taken over from both sides, that is basically like lockout central, and looks like Duck Motif will use that to their advantage fully and just force their way back in, able to use that Zipcaster along with Vixen just staying in, able to get the cap. But now what's really been, I feel like, hindering Duck Motif is just going down to either a random bomb or random pick here and there, and just Squad Wins just taking full advantage of that. So now if you're Duck Motif, your biggest goal is just staying alive as long as possible. So even if you lose zone, you can still fight for it, like you see right here.
Yeah, this is just pandemonium happening here. You see Kara does end up going down here. The whales are ready to go, but not before Vexen tries to get that pick. Not quite going to happen. We have a jump out there, but it feels as though Duck Motif, they have these strong holds, like you know, it just seems so difficult for both of these teams to just really cleanly push up and take the zone. You see, just then, 2 members are going down. Vexen just putting up that wall, trying to stay safe while warning off the rest of the players. And I think this is the first time it really feels as though one of the teams is just in their own spawn, having difficulty getting through that choke and dropping down into zone. Finally, Duck Motif makes their way through these penalty points, and I think we're going to be looking at a lead switch here shortly. It does happen. Duck Motif taking the lead just like that before a jump out happens, and with 3 members down, they must be going for the knockout here, Topic.
I mean, yeah, you saw Vexen in the mid there of the court getting, I believe, 2 members down. Baldy, though, able to get one, looking for just the zone. They are not quite going to get it. They're going to get neutralized, not quite able to get a whole lot. And Duck Motif, despite a little bit of adversity early on, able to fight back. And I think I want to credit, I believe, Bandit on the ZF Charger, just holding down the bridge. And I think that really, I don't want to say scared squad wins, but it kept them at bay. It kept Sky's attention on them basically the entire time. It made sure that the rest of Duck Motif was allowed to kind of move around freely without really having to worry about a whole lot, because you know, if that pen got one tap on you, does 68 damage, you're basically dead to anything. So I think shout out to Bandit for, even though I don't think they got a kill that last little fight there, just them having so much attention on them does so much in their favor. But that's enough of talking about the past. Let's talk about the present as we go to game number 2. It's not this on screen. It's actually going to be Tower Control Hagglefish.
Yes, of note, I think this being semis, we are now in a best of 5. We have a switch over. Now you can take a look that we will indeed be heading over to Hagglefish Tower. This can be quite a tough map mode to sort of make heads or tails of, because the momentum can just be extremely brutal here. Once that team hits that 3rd checkpoint, sometimes it just feels like you don't have the space, you don't have the wherewithal to really stop them. So I imagine that both of these teams are going to be making a bid to see who can get the farthest right off rip. And I'm going to be interested to see if we have a switch off of that backline. Bandit, of course, was on the ZF. ZF is a really strong weapon. Of course, they might keep them and get those GG strikes that people often want for tower, but I wouldn't be so surprised if we see a switch to a leader or a pen.
I mean, we're gonna see. We saw that Smile or Squad win, sorry, did bring a pen. Maybe see pen versus pen, but no, Bandit going to that leader, that longer range. That's gonna help. And also another switch, Baldy going over to the Luna Blaster for a Zipcaster on their own. And when looking at this matchup, I'm looking at both Zipcasters. They can both cause a lot of damage if either team pushes up. The Zipcasters are getting up to that top right side, causing a lot of damage and disruption to that backline. That's the main matchup I'm looking up towards right now. But as I say that, both of them are going to go down right away. It looks like Duck Motif will be the first ones to try to push up mid here. You see Kara on this right-hand side, just causes some attention, but not a whole lot. Red Shell, however, just looking on the flank. Hayden able to get them down. It looks like Squad Wins will be the first ones to touch tower, but not a whole lot else, because Duck Motif is going to be there. They're going to stop that momentum, and now it's a back to neutral for the most part.
Hayden did some serious work there on that right side, because we obviously saw that flank and 2 go down. But I was wondering this whole time, well, why aren't they getting on tower? They have so many people down. And ultimately, you see, it's because Hayden was just harassing so many members to the point where their own members were able to take that tower. So once again, they are up there, they are pushing, but you see that Duck Motif has pulled out all the stops, popped literally all of their specials. I think you see those whales there as well as those missiles. So Vexen just trying to get this pick, going to narrowly escape that bomb, and Smile just popping that Kraken to take the space and try and force people out of here. But 2 members of Squad Wins ultimately going to go down here, and it feels as though we're at a very rare stalemate as it pertains to the tower here topic.
I mean, yeah, both these teams are really skilled. They're really even, but it looks like finally Duck Motif will break that stalemate, able to get towards that first checkpoint, get another one down. Now you can see them try to execute on this momentum here, trying to multiply it. You see Vexen very far up, and you see just painting up the plat here as Red Shell going for that top right side. Very important if you can get past this first checkpoint, just staking out for a second, not quite able to get a whole lot, but again, just causing a lot of attention to be shift towards them is gonna work out. And Duck Motif, however, just getting past the first 2 checkpoints rather easily, I will say. And now, if you are Squad Wins, you have to respond really effectively here. You have 3 members down, you have to push up, you have Kraken, you're gonna have Zipcaster soon, you're gonna have Bubble soon. So this is an opportunity for you to do something, but Vex on the flank is something I'd be really worried for.
Listen, I said that this map mode is a game of momentum, and you see that Duck Motif did everything they could with the momentum that they got. I think they have just about, it was 3 people down, low-key. First Squad Wins 2 for a while, so that tower going to make its way back into mid, but meanwhile, one of the 2 Zips is going to be popped. Baldy getting that pick before recalling back and effectively just sort of making Duck Motif move a little bit back, but Hayden safe until they're not, essentially. That bubble is going to burst, and the leader was right there waiting for them. It is just going to be the Kraken, who literally cannot die. Invulnerable special, of course, going to be the last person up. Smile takes one before getting out of there, and very wisely sets up that wall before heading back, but two go down in an absolutely huge explosion. This is just a bloodbath into a wipeout there from Duck Motif on squad wins 2. This is not looking good for them. They only have about a minute 30 left.
I mean, yeah, those missiles from Kara caused a lot of damage. You saw just all the missiles in one spot. Kara cleaned up the last survivor, and now Duck Motif looking to at least, if not score more, just get the tower on the enemy side. They do that. They just waste time, because now we're a minute left in this game. If your squad wins, you have to get through all 3 checkpoints still. Meanwhile, Duck Motif is still being as aggressive as they possibly can. Now they're forced back up just a little bit here. Not a whole lot. But now, if your squad wins, you get outranged by both the pro and the leader, other than the pencil. So you have to be very, really cautious of those two. And you have not only that, you have to worry about the missiles on tower. You have to worry about the whale on tower. You have to worry about red shell on the zipcaster on tower. So there's a lot that can go wrong that you cannot afford to. But looks like not even have a chance to, because again, Duck Motif just sitting on tower, just keeping this momentum and just keeping squad wins back and in their base this entire time.
Yes, you see that leader just kind of scooching back. They can afford to give up the range, seeing as though they have the most out of anybody who is in play here. But 2 members down, Red Shell trying to see if they can just clean up the rest. But they do get checked here by Baldy, who is still going after the picks into a trade. That is 3 members down for Duck Motif, but squad wins 2, not able to make it to the tower. So that is going to be another very unfortunate loss at the end. Especially seeing as though they got the picks. That puts Duck Motif at a 2-0.
I mean, yeah, if your squad wins, that wipe came a little bit too late, because it felt like through a majority of that game, Duck Motif just kept on the attack. They had Red Shell, they had Vexen on these flanks, up with these zipcasters, going up to that top right side, going up to this left side, just making sure that their frontliners, mainly the 96 and the Luna, could not get anything going. They made sure that they were, at the very most, just spread apart so far away from each other that they couldn't turn a 1v1 to a 2v1. They made sure that when specials were used, they did whatever they could to minimize its effectiveness, whether it be spreading out, whether it be grouping together to kill the Luna Blaster in the Zipcaster. They just did the right things at the right time, and it worked out as they got the win. But now, as we go to game number 3, I expect at least maybe a change or two. The only thing I can really see from these 2 teams is maybe Baldy going over to the Wiper, like so from game number 1. But other than that, I don't really see any changes from either side.
Really? Yeah, I wouldn't be too shocked to see that leader once again. I myself, I have a propensity to really like that CF here. I think that setting up walls can be super strong on Robo Ramen, denying someone space, making it difficult for them to get into your elbow, I think is just really great. But honestly, if you're a leader, you can just sit in your own elbow and just destroy the pen from across mid. So I'm inclined to agree. I wouldn't be surprised if we sort of see a return of that. But, you know, I guess not everyone has just kind of uniformly readied up. So I would think we do see that Wiper once again. And I'm wondering, what do you think Squad Wins 2 is going to have to do to take a game off Duck Motif here?
Dislodge Bandit. I mean, the best way I can describe it is Bandit has, not honestly single-handedly, I credit to the entire team, but I'd say Bandit has really kept squad wins at bay, whether it be with the ZF, whether it be with the leader, making sure that they cannot move back to ZF charger, making sure that they cannot move if you're comfortable moving is what their game plan was. So they have Vixen, they have Raicho just do and cause a lot of damage. So I think that's their biggest game plan. And honestly, Smile going over to the Luna Neo, and an interesting change here. Baldi going to the Zimmy Splatling with Bubble, not anymore, but going over to that to kind of set up on the enemy ramp to kind of give their team space could be very useful here.
Yeah, I'll give myself that pat on the back for the ZF call there. Bandit is going to send out those strikes from the safety of their snipe. Essentially, you have that 1v1 with Karen and Hayden. Eventually, both of them go down. However, it is Squad Wins 2 who currently has the zone. Bandit trying to see if they can do something about that. Obviously, don't want to set up necessarily on that snipe, especially with those whales just trying to come after them. And so far, it seems as though Squad Wins 2, quite frankly, is playing very careful, very methodically. You see that they're all sitting in this zone. Usually when you want to play an aggressive game, you move up to the elbow, see if you could just lock them out. But I think they're understanding that at this point in time, their backs are up against the wall. They can't afford to lose this game or else they lose the entire set. So perhaps they might be getting punished for that. Red Shell's trying to get the pick there, doesn't quite do it, but ultimately it seems as though their grasp on the zone is a little bit precarious. They do get it, but really strong showing so far off the top from Squad Wins 2.
I mean, yeah, you saw they kind of survived they survived the Zipcaster, they survived the whales, they survived the strikes, and they fought back. The bubble's gonna come out on the ramp as well. Missiles are gonna go into the bubble, into the zone, but it won't matter as Squad Wins 2. A very, very dominant performance. Yes, they did lose the first fight, and that gave put Duck Motif on the board, but past that, they didn't control the zone. They pushed up, like you said, they played carefully. They didn't overextend too far away from their teammates, and that gave them the win. And honestly, I think low-key, the switch of the bubble kind of helped because it gave them like secured space up past the zone that they know they could that they knew they could go back to without being rushed down by Duck Motif. And I think that really helped. But we're gonna see what they can do to repeat that as now we're going to game 4, which is going to be Clam Blitz on Barnacle and Dime.
Ooh, Clam Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime. Obviously, Barnacle and Dime is a very large space, and Clam Blitz honestly just sets up for these really good games because there's just so much space and so many fights that have to be taken in order to get into that basket, and it makes for some fantastic plays. But you see, I think just a tiny switch there from Squad Wins to they've switched onto that Luna Blaster. Instead, they have that hammer, and interestingly enough, I think that's an opening gambit as well. And we have yet another switch there from Bandit onto the Crab. Onto the Crab Charger, which, you know, you'd think you'd be seeing more of, so I'm really happy to see it here. But Smile, right off the top, getting that pick, already just sort of overextending, trying to push that back line. Not gonna quite work out for them, but it does feel as though Duck Motif has conceded a lot of space. They don't have their plat. They're just trying to fight in, and meanwhile, Squad Wins 2 just putting on a lot of pressure. So a lot of excitement right off the top.
I mean, yeah, so far it looks like that early pressure will try to slow down a little bit. Hayden trying to go in once again. They're going to go down. You see another bubble very aggressively from Baldi, trying to keep their plat at least somewhat. Is going to actually shut down Red Shell on that Zipcaster. Very, very good there. And yeah, it looks like Duck Motif is still giving up a lot of space, still conceding mid, but this crab, or not Kraken, this Crab is actually gonna get shut down by Smile. So it feels like Squad Wins 2 has a lot of wind in their sail. Delayed wipeout as well. Smile with the hammer, looking to throw it, is gonna get it, is gonna get Bandit as well. The double power clamp is gonna go in along with the the bubble. So we see that Squad Wins 2 is very set up for success here. A couple more clams in reserve. Smile looking for even more picks, making Bandit's life not that easy. The power going in once again. 31 points remaining. Smile just ledge sharking, able to get a couple more picks as well. Hayden going in as well with the whales, getting one, looking for another, getting two, not able to get a third, but a lot of damage has been done. And it feels like Squad Wins 2 has been in complete control, a complete 180 from the first two games where Duck Motif were kind of dominant. Now, Squad Wins 2 are looking really, really strong here.
Honestly, it looks like Squad Wins 2, like perhaps they were just gathering information in those first two games, and then they're like, okay, I've got the intel, we know exactly what we need to do to be a little bit more competitive in this set. You see that Zip being taken out right out the sky by Sky, who is on this pencil just trying to chip and take that space for their team. They have that bubble set up, so they have their plat back. The crab is going to come out. Smile just being smothered, gonna go down in a trade. Two members down on Squad Wins 2. So now is the time for someone like a Red Shell on this brush to see if they can just get this plat, get this space, and try and turn the tables on Squad Wins 2. The missiles come out here from Kara. That's going to be super difficult. It seems as though they've gotten all four, so everyone is trying to dodge those. All the while, Vexen is able to just absolutely mow down Hayden, get that double, and Red Shell just still going at it. So it feels as though we saw such a dominant game right off the top, but Duck Motif just kind of paying them back in spades with this level of aggression, and they're still going down. They still have a bit to go before they get to the 30, but if they play their cards right, they might be able to go straight past it.
I mean, yeah, they were able to keep it open for a little bit longer. Bandit deciding to pop that crab just to keep themselves and Kara alive a little bit longer, getting a jump in. One's going to go down to the wall. Very unfortunate there. Bandit still going 50 points remaining. No more clams at the righty. Kara is in spot, but Vexen, why is he deciding not to jump in just yet to at least save a power clam to live for another day? But now, if you're Duck Motif, you've done it once, you gotta do it again. But you know that Squad Wins 2 is gonna be there. They're not gonna give up that easy, because with a minute left to go in the game, you're still on your back, but you still have to score another 19 plus 25, so another, what, 30... about another 44 points, I want to say. So you still have a long way to go, and looks like they're going to use that to advantage here instead. Just keep on going, keep this aggressive front they've been using for the last 2 minutes of the game. Hayden staying alive, able to get one in the trade, not quite able to get anything else though. But now you see Kara in a good spot. You see Bandit with the crab as well, just able to take a lot of space, which they've been doing really, really effectively here. And now you see the Zip casters ready. Missiles are going to be up in a second for Duck Motif. This is very, very scary if your Squad Wins 2.
Yeah, absolutely, because not only are they in this really fantastic position, they've got two of your members down, essentially, but also this is Duck Motif. If you have been in the Splatoon scene for a while, you know that they are a strong team, but listen, Squad Wins 2 says we do not care. That double is going to happen. It is just the gal up there, the last person they throw that to make sure that they're not easy to locate there. Sky taking up that space. They have their own plat, putting down that paint. You see, this is a very purple mid we're looking at right now. Both of these teams have really strong clam economies. And you see Vexen just trying to go in there. They go down to those whales, but that jump goes in, but it's just Bandit into a wipeout, and there is no time. We have that jump that will just be beamed down. So Squad Wins 2 kind of celebrating here, waiting for that barrier to go back up as they celebrate their journey to a potential reverse sweep onto a Game 5 there, Topic.
I mean, yeah, I think this story was just the tale of two halves. In the first half, you had Squad Wins 2 very dominant, very oppressive, very fast, very good gameplay from them. And then the second half being Duck Motif just being able to fight back, having that aggressive front, but it's not going to be enough as Squad Wins 2 able to stop that push early, able to stop this potential push from Duck Motif we see right here, just getting the crab, getting Kara down, no extra clams, and now maybe Squad Wins 2 celebrated a little bit too early. Who knows? Because we're in Game 5. You can't celebrate till it's over. And I think this is going to be a very good map for Duck Motif because the missiles are going to go really good here because it's a small map in Micomart. Because Red Shell doesn't have a lot of places to work with that Octobrush. But on the opposite side, I think Smile, I believe, is SZA going Luna is going to be very dangerous, especially under that ledge.
Yes, this is going to be super interesting to see sort of the battle of the AoE between Red Shell, who's going to be on that aforementioned Octobrush, and I think SZA Baby, who might be the one on that Luna Blaster. So as we know, Mako Mart really strong to have AoE there. I always say he who controls the stacks controls the game, and so both of these teams are going to be looking to grab those stacks, displace anyone who's standing on them. And I also gotta wonder what we're going to be seeing out of Bandit, because I can once again see a lot of choices here. The ZF really good because it's more difficult for people to just kind of camp under you and chip away at you. But of course, if you have that leader, anyone who stands on a stack may just go down. So we are going to be picking the leader. Just about everything else is going to stick, including the Zimmy. Really strong choice, especially as it has such a small charge time for a Splatling, and this is going to be the game 5 and decide who goes forward there topic.
I mean, yeah, but if you're both teams, you know your biggest job is to protect your stacks at all costs. You do that, you have a lot of control over zones. It looks like Squad Wins doesn't have the first control, but Duck Motif able to get back in the zone, get the lead, but not a whole lot else. Sky with the cooler, so you know with this cooler active, you're gonna see very aggressive plays from Squad Wins too, which you are. Smile going in, not quite able to get Vex in there, but we see another very aggressive bubble from Baldy, just making it a little bit more challenging for Duck Motif to get in the zone. It is going to work out, as one's going to go down. Kara force it back out and pop the missiles as well, which is going to be very helpful for them. As for Red Shell, going into a fight versus a 2v1, Sharking staying alive, getting 2. The third one is going down as well, forcing the last one to back away. And now, if you are Duck Motif, you gotta hold both this right hand side we see Vixen doing, and you gotta hold that snipe, because you know if they drop snipe, they're gonna be in for a rough time at Red Shell there.
Honestly, they are already in for a rough time, because when you get wiped on Mako Mart, you know that people are just camping those drops. They're taking that right, like you see Vexen is doing right now, trying to put that pressure. Sky just trying to get control of their own snipe, putting out that paint, but being sure not to just get sniped out by the one person who has more range than them on the entire map. And Smile just gonna chuck that and get a really strong pick there on zone, which is going to help them to turn it back over. Duck Motif had a really strong hold. I think they did a good job of just making Squad Wins burn a lot of time figuring out how to get out of their own spawn, but that time is done. They currently have the zone. It's heading a little bit towards neutral, but I think with that one person down, with those 3 people down, their reign of terror is going to continue.
I mean, yeah, it's going to continue for as long as as Squad Wins would like to see their either penalty points, try and just milk it down as low as possible. But Red Shell does have Zipcaster. It's going to be popped 2 down with those whales as well. The zone is not going to quite flip control or flip the lead yet. 2v2, it's just 1 left, and that will be Duck Motif having the zone. And you see again how quickly they're pushing up. You see they have that underneath that plat area painted. You see that Vexen trying to contest this right-hand side as fast as possible, but Smile being there to contest them, not anymore. Nice snipe there from the E-leader. And now, as we enter the last 2 minutes of the game, it feels like one more wipeout will be the end of it, because both these teams, nice snipe there, are very evenly matched. And as you can see, we just have Bandit just doing whatever they can in order to make sure that their team can get it, make sure that their team is protected, and make sure that Squad Wins 2 is kept at bay for as long as possible.
Yes, but they are ticking down to the 10 mark. Vexen gonna let that go as that person jumps in, but there's just not enough time. Duck Motif with a strong hold at the end there is going to show their dominance and just barely eke out squad wins 2 in this 3-2 fifth game. Honestly, this was just so hype. Two strong teams. They almost got reverse swept, but at the last second, they put their foot down and said, absolutely not. We are a strong team, and we have been for a long time, and let's prove it to you here.
I mean, yeah, they held on. They saved off the reverse sweep, and they just really kept control of the map. Every time they got 2, 3, or heck, maybe even the wipeout, they pushed up. They had someone, mainly Vexen, on that right hand side. They had Kara and Red Show watching snipe. They had Bandit, whether it being on the right stack watching or helping Vexen, whether it be on the left stack watching snipe as well for that overlook for Sky. They just had the coordination that it took to hold on. Even when they wiped out and they died and they almost lost lead, they kept calm, they kept cool, they kept collected, and they kept it going and able to punch their ticket into our finals this week.
Yeah, honestly, I think that shows their strength and their experience as a team. Just being able to keep cool under those circumstances, and perhaps that's why they've made it into the top 8 of the NA League, because they're just that good. They're just that good. But I think we are going to be heading to a bit of a short break before we go into finals, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with SOS 210.